You get to go a lot of places to do you take videos of people or do you just like interview?
I hire a photographer that goes with me, and I get to go to all kinds of places. I saw how peanut butter is made at the Skippy Peanut Butter Plant down in Arkansas. I used to do shows for Food Network, and I got to go to all kinds of restaurants all over the country. What's that?
Who do you do the food shows with?
Noah.
It was a few years ago. It was a show called The Best Of. It's not on anymore, but we did like 350 episodes of it. We went all over the place. But then what I do is I interview people, and then like I did the video here at St. Joe's. You saw me around. We interview people, but then we go get our supporting video as well. So we do both, right?
What kind of videos do you make?
What kind of videos?
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. I do a lot of videos for schools. I do a lot of videos for hospitals. You heard of Anytime Fitness? The workout? Yeah. If you go online, anytimefitness.com, and look at those videos, I did those. I do videos for them. I do some corporate videos for people. A lot of education. A lot of videos about schools and things that schools do.
Do you do like commercials for TV?
I've done some commercials. I don't do a lot of commercials. A few years ago, I did a commercial with Joe Mauer when he was kind of a big deal. He's not much anymore, but I did a commercial for Anytime Fitness with Joe Mauer. I don't do a lot of commercials. I do a lot more longer form things.
Do you like your job?
I love my job. And yes?
Oh, you can finish. I was just gonna.
Oh, okay. The reason I love my job is, quite honestly, I get to meet a lot of really neat people, and I get to meet a lot of inspiring people. I get to tell their stories, and I get to help them tell their stories. I get to help organizations be better as far as more visible, and I I just get access to some neat things that most people don't get access to. I mean, I got to meet Michael Jordan, I got to meet Shaq, I got to meet a lot of, when I was in Chicago.
Who's Shaq?
Shaquille O'Neal.
The biggest NBA
Hi, Caroline.
ever. 32-inch.
I get to meet a lot of, and I get to see how things are made. One of my clients is called Twin City Fan Companies. They make all the air moving equipment and all these big fans. So I get to go to their plants, and I get to see how all this stuff is put together and how it's all made. And I love it. And it's a different job every day. I mean, I'm never doing the same thing ever, and it's fun. It's very fun.
So when you go to these places, do you just go in there blind, or do you do a little research before you go to these places and interview, let's say, someone?
What I do is we have what's called a pre-production meeting with the client, and we talk about what their video is supposed to do.
Okay.
What do they want their video to do and communicate, and then we start looking at who do we interview to talk about that, and then what video can we show.
Perfect.
Like for this one story that I did for Mercy and Unity Hospital, it was about a guy who had a heart attack, and Mercy Hospital saved him. So I got to go talk to him, I got to talk to his family, it got pretty emotional. Another story that I did that's really, really fun, if you Google LifeLink 3 and then 3 numerals, not the number 3, LifeLink, the helicopters that we see flying around Waconia that go to the hospital, that's them. I got to fly in the helicopters, and I got to interview people that they saved. And so those are pretty cool stories. And when people are talking about life-saving things, it's pretty cool.
So what I'm trying to get at is, they just don't go and start shooting. They have a plan, they have a storyboard, they have an idea of what they're doing. So when Mr. Janikula and I ask you to do such project, it's not that you just go ahead and start videoing and taking pictures right away. You need to have some sort of a thought process before you get there. It may lead to a whole different track, but at least you have thought about it a little bit beforehand?
We have a plan. Let's say you're doing a video about your concession stand, and I think that we want to make the concession stand more visible, and we want that to be open more. Let's say you're gonna do a video about that. Would you go in there with the doors locked and just stand there and video it?
I was.
Or you might want to think about, when is it in use? And who's gonna be there? And what can I do when they're there? And why do we want the concession stand to be open more? And what are we gonna sell there? And who can talk to us about that? So yeah, you wanna have, I never just go. I just came from a production meeting before here at a school in St. Louis Park, a Jewish day school, and that's exactly what we talked about what is our plan, what are we gonna do? Like when I shot here at St. Joe's, I sat down with Mr. Richards, and we went through the whole school day about what you guys are doing during the school day, and then we kind of cherry-picked what we want to shoot, and that was our plan. Now, we change a little bit in there, but we always have a plan, and we always have kind of a vision for what the end is gonna be. We look at, what do I want my end to do? What do I want the video to be like? Go ahead.
Did you ever interview someone and you had to translate the language?
Yes, actually, funny story there. I did a video on heart health for Health East for women, but Hmong women and Spanish women. So I'm sitting there interviewing a Hmong doctor, asking her the questions in English, and she spoke to me in Hmong. Of course, I had no idea what she was saying. And then I had to have the translator sit with me in the edit bay to tell me how everything is what pictures need to go with what. But with the Hmong language, what I learned is there are words in the English language that don't translate into Hmong. Like, this isn't one of them, but it's an example. Let's say car. So the Hmong language might say, an apparatus that has an engine and 4 wheels and a steering wheel that transports you from point A to point B. That would be their way of explaining a car. So the video, the Spanish version of the video was 10 minutes. The Hmong version of the video was 25 minutes. Because I had to, yeah. Do you have a question, Judy? What else? Nothing else? Yeah.
Has your video tapey thingy glitched out and then you got mad that you wanted to chuck it out?
We've had any kind of problem you can imagine I've had. I shot with polar bears. I got to go up and see polar bears up in Canada. And it was below 0 and our equipment froze up. So they spent all this money to send us up there. They helicoptered us out to where the polar bears are. And we get out there, and they spent thousands of dollars to get us there. And my photographer, Dave, tells me, my camera's out. And you're like, oh. So what we did is we put it in our coats, and we warmed it up for 10 minutes, and it started working again. So, and then I've had audio issues, tons of audio issues. With wireless mics, a lot of times cell phone gets in the way, so we have all kinds of audio issues. I've had everything happen that you can imagine, I've had happen in the field with equipment.
When you talked with Mike and Shaq, what did you ask them?
I asked Michael Jordan why he changed his number, and he laughed at me. He didn't answer. He just kind of